Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bachelor Nation News fans. A Golden Bachelor contestant was accused of living in Cougartown by Kathy after she gave Jonathan her rose in the latest episode of Bachelor in Paradise. The episode ended with a rose ceremony as Kat Izzo found herself unsure if she wanted to continue seeing Dale Moss after she discovered he hadn't been as loyal as she thought. It's easy to say things, and I love the way that we've been showing up, but if a girl comes in next week that you would be attracted to or want to explore, is that something that you'd be open to doing? Kat said, as the pair too laid on the beach in an episode where April Kirkwood and other contestants from The Golden Bachelor and The Golden Bachelorette were introduced. He replied, "Not really," adding, "Like with Allie Jo, like she's nice and everything, but there was no click." Kat then quizzed him if he had kissed Allie Jo, who was eliminated in week 2, and was left shocked by his answer. He said, "I just feel a little confused because I thought we were supposed to be open and transparent about how we moved in this environment." Kat interrupted, "I would have preferred if that was communicated." He then insisted that he didn't think it was worth mentioning, saying, "It wasn't in the cards, so I deaded it." Kat told him she didn't know what he meant by that, adding, "I mean, let's say I never asked you. I would have watched it back and been like, didn't know that happened. That wouldn't have felt very good." Dale then stressed that his Allie Jo connection wasn't even that deep and told her to move past it. Later in her confessional, she said she was starting to see a red flag in him. Afterwards, Dale received attention from Golden contestant April Kirkwood, 67, who was due to hand out a rose. She said, "I love him," while leaning on his shoulder by the bar as the rest of the group laughed. Jonathan then confessed, "I would love to get a rose from April." Later on, April made out with fellow Golden Jack by the pool, suggesting Jonathan would not get his wish. Kat then decided to sit down for another talk with Dale an hour before the rose ceremony was due to take place. She told him, "I obviously need to have a conversation now, and if it's met with defense, I don't know if I would feel comfortable moving forward." Dale hit back, saying, "If I was in your position, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. I'm not trying to hide anything, I just deaded it." Kat then told him her biggest concern was not feeling heard and understood, saying, "You said that Allie Jo wasn't your type. You guys were kissing, though." Dale continued to protest his innocence, saying, "I didn't hide anything. It wasn't even a thought. It just didn't mean anything." He added that he understood that her past was the reason for her fears. Kat then shut him down, saying, "It has nothing to do with that. Please don't do that. Like, please don't do that. I don't want to feel crazy or stupid for telling you how I'm feeling." He then said, "I just thought we were past it," before she added, "The last thing I want is to be bamboozled." Dale then declared, "This sounds a lot like my ex." Later in the episode, Jonathan had hopes that he would get Kat's rose, but she gave it to Dale, who called it a sigh of relief. April then stunned the group by choosing Jonathan. She told him, "I want you to have another opportunity to be valued for what other people may not see, but I do." After her questionable move, Kathy Swartz then quipped, "I love you, April, but you live in paradise." April Gregory strutted onto the beach in Sayulita, Mexico, like she owned it. Her wide-brimmed hat, emerald green bikini, and towering heels didn't exactly scream laid-back vacation. They screamed main character. And April? She wouldn't have it any other way. At 42, April was the oldest contestant on Bachelor in Paradise Season 10, but she wore that number like a badge of honor. "I'm not here to waste anyone's time," she said in her intro package. "I've raised 2 amazing boys, built a 6-figure career, and I've never been happier in my skin. If these 20-somethings can't handle that, that's their loss." Cue the soundbite producers would milk for weeks. And for the first 2 days, she was the queen. The younger girls like Zoe, Kaylee, and Mariah tiptoed around her, unsure if they were supposed to compete or befriend her. April had her eye on Jonas, a 26-year-old CrossFit trainer who had just come off a rocky season on The Bachelorette. "Age is just a number," she told the confessional camera. "Jonas and I, we vibe, period." But not everyone agreed. The age gap controversy begins. Jonas, for his part, was flattered. Who wouldn't be? April was confident, flirty, and incredibly good at making a man feel seen. I didn't come down here thinking I'd connect with someone older, Jonas admitted during a beachside chat with Graydon, but April's energy is different. She challenges me. The other men weren't so sure. Braden raised an eyebrow. Is she challenging you or mothering you? That was the first time someone called Jonas the pool boy, and it wouldn't be the last. Meanwhile, April had made her move, literally. She cornered Jonas during a group game of Spin the Bottle and pulled him aside under the guise of needing sunscreen applied to her back. He had no choice, Kaylee whispered to the other girls from behind her aviators. She pounced. And just like that, the beach was buzzing. She's living in Cougartown, Mariah laughed during a confessional, and she's not just visiting, she built a damn mansion. The internet explodes. The moment aired during the third episode. April, sitting in Jonas's lap, feeding him papaya, licking a bit of it off his lip while the rest of the cast tried to look anywhere else. The Twitter/X reaction? Explosive. Hashtag Cougartown Queen began trending, but so did hashtag Predator Paradise and hashtag Let Jonas Breathe. You can't scream equality and then cheer when a woman twice a guy's age climbs on him like a jungle gym, one viewer tweeted. If the genders were reversed, we'd riot. Others defended her. Jonas is a grown man. April is a goddess. Let them live, another user posted. Producers doubled down. April's screen time increased. Jonas began looking like a deer caught in high-gloss body shimmer. The night of the jungle party. The beach bonfire was replaced with tiki torches and tribal drums. The cast dressed in jungle-themed outfits for the producers' weekly costume party. April showed up in a leopard print bodysuit with a plunging neckline, thigh-high gladiator sandals, and a vine woven into her hair. I came to hunt, she purred. That night, she and Jonas disappeared into the jungle for over 2 hours. By morning, he looked confused. I don't know what's happening, he mumbled to Braden over breakfast. I feel like I blacked out. In a good way. Maybe. Rumors flew. She's hypnotizing him, Zoe said. Jonas is under the spell of April's yoga and rosé witchcraft, Mariah joked in her confessional. Blink twice if you need help, boo. The phrase, blame it on the cougar, was stamped all over Bachelor Nation forums. Paradise turns on April. By week 4, April's boldness had taken a turn, from empowering to isolating. A new bombshell arrived. Tessa, a stunning 25-year-old flight attendant who had briefly dated Jonas after The Bachelorette. Producers knew what they were doing. Tessa got the date card. She asked Jonas. I need to explore things, he told April that morning, just for clarity. April smiled, nodded, bit her lip. Of course, baby. Explore away. But that night, April was nowhere to be seen. Jonas and Tessa returned from their romantic cliffside dinner to find April floating alone in the hot tub, sipping champagne like a Bond villain. You look refreshed, she said flatly. Get everything you needed, sweetie. Tessa blinked. Jonas shrunk. Silence. By morning, all hell had broken loose. The girls' intervention. April walked into the palapa to find Zoe, Kaylee, and Mariah seated like a tribunal. We need to talk, Zoe said. Mariah added, this isn't working anymore. Kaylee, you're making everything about you. April laughed. Is that what this is? You don't like that I'm confident, sexy, and not begging for scraps like you? Zoe snapped. It's not about age. It's about aggression. Maybe Jonas doesn't know how to say no. The word predatory was said. April's face hardened. You girls don't intimidate me. I built empires while you were still crying over prom. I don't chase boys. I inspire men. Mic drop. But the damage was done. Jonas breaks. In the next rose ceremony, Jonas hesitated. Long. Tense. April stepped forward for the rose. I need to step back, Jonas said. The gasp could be heard across the ocean. He gave his rose to Tessa. April blinked. Once, twice. Then she smiled. Good luck, baby boy, she said, turned on her heel, and walked out barefoot, heels in hand. dignity intact. The camera zoomed in on her lone champagne glass left sitting on the sand. The reunion special. The Bachelor in Paradise after the Sand special was filmed a month later. April walked onto the stage in a red power suit, sleek ponytail, and crimson lipstick that could cut glass. Jesse Palmer greeted her like a queen, but the questions turned sharp quickly. Some viewers felt your behavior toward Jonas was inappropriate, especially given the age gap. What's your response to those accusations? April folded her arms. Would we be having this conversation if Jonas were 42 and I was 26? Jesse hesitated. April smirked. Exactly. Tessa chimed in. It wasn't about age, it was about manipulation. April shot back. Manipulation? Sweetheart, I didn't lie, cheat, or play coy. I told Jonas what I wanted, and he said yes, repeatedly. Audience applause. Scattered, polarized. April continued. Some people want a woman my age to fade away, to stop being sexy, or stop pursuing what she wants. That's not me. If that makes you uncomfortable, you should examine why. The redemption arc. 3 months post-Paradise, April launched a podcast, Cougartown Confidential. Her first guest? Jonas. They laughed, shared wine, addressed the elephant in the room. I was overwhelmed, Jonas admitted, but that's on me, not you. April toasted. To clarity and owning your truth. The episode hit 1 million streams in 2 days. April began touring colleges to speak on female empowerment. She inked a book deal. Rumors flew about a Netflix dating show for women 40+ starring her as the host. Bachelor Nation remained divided. Some called her a feminist icon. Others said she was gaslighting an entire generation of men. April? She didn't care. Sunset, not fade. Back in Mexico, the sun set over the Paradise Beach once again. New cast members arrived, fresh drama brewed. But every now and then, someone mentioned April. She was too much. She was iconic. She was living in Cougartown. And every time, the camera panned to the empty beach chair she once occupied, like a throne.